Hey, it's Ben here, and update for the week. It's been a very interesting week looking at the content that I've been producing for my business, Techno Leadership. And on LinkedIn, I'm slowly starting to see organic growth, and I'm starting to look at opportunities to use advertising to boost that reach. So I've got to look at the options. There's things like thought leader ads and other options that LinkedIn has that's slightly different to how content and boosting on Facebook or Instagram or other major platforms looks like. So that's something for the upcoming week to look into. I've also got to break up the funnel build that I've been having in my back burner for months, finally done and sent to my agency to have it all built out, finish the build process, finish adding the graphics and all the other bits that normally is required, and create any other assets that are required for that, like video as a video sales letter sort of format, and have it all prepped to test with ads, like lead gen ads, pay-per-click ads. In terms of paid boost, what I'm noticing is the content seems to be landing with my audience. There is still a 10-to-1 ratio in, or 10% engagement rate in the boosted content. There's engagement, there's enough data there for me to see that there is a viable potential opportunity here, and that people are looking for help in the space. So the next thing that I'm going to test is putting out what is called a micromagnet to see who's actually willing to go past that initial I'm interested to actually going, I would like to go further and get some help to get the outcome. So now is where the rubber really hits the road, if you want to call it that way. The last week and a bit, I haven't done a whole lot of boosting. I've left a couple of old posts still running, mostly like what I would call from a marketing perspective an authority building post. Those I've left boosting. A lot of the posts that I've done in the last week and a bit have been more tactical that help with getting to know people's own strengths and things like that. Very tactical posts, but tying back to the outcome that people want. And also just thinking about it from a strategic perspective, it didn't quite make sense to boost. But today's post, which is today's Friday, the 17th of April, I'll be doing the micromagnet post and boosting that to test, are people willing to actually go from engaging with content to going, hey, I need help, or hey, I'd like to see what's next. That's now the test to see what happens. Because ultimately, if this is going to be a viable business, then I need people to actually say they want help, and then from there, actually pull out the card, pay for that help and support so I can build a business. Ultimately, business means having clients, having people who pay for whatever you have to offer. And if that doesn't work, then I've got to look at what comes after that when the process happens. Ultimately, yeah, I've over the last few years realized that coaching is the kind of business that I would want to be in. I find a lot of joy in helping people and seeing the transformation that happens. Even in my leadership roles in the past, that was the cream that made me, enjoy the roles, helping people in my team and even our clients, if you want to call that, who are people from other departments who depended on technology for their work, who were not very comfortable with technology, but if I could sit with them, help them unpack what they need and how the technology can help them get what they need, and seeing that joy come out of them made my day. And similarly, with this particular business, the reason that I even started that was I had that joy helping team members, helping friends of mine, people in my network go from, hey, I'm struggling to get into a management role, to making those tweaks and then positioning themselves correctly and getting the role. And that has a kind of joy that I don't think I have words to really express. And so I'd love to see a lot more people being able to do that. And especially with how things are going with AI disrupting many industries, especially like I'm talking to people who are entry level in IT or mid level in IT, whether that's in the software development side of things or in the infrastructure and back end side of things. They're all worried. There's a lot of people who have lost jobs, and then with that comes the fear and mindset and anxiety that leads to some unproductive behaviors when it comes to getting the next role, which tends to be, playing the numbers game. And there is a level at which you might have to play a little bit of that. But when you do the right things, when you figure out your strengths, your weaknesses, and position yourself for the right job in the right industry, in the right area, that can alleviate all that numbers game that we've got to play, minimize that. Not saying completely eliminates it. After all, we're in a world where there's a lot of people going for a few number of jobs, and there's going to be a lot of people who just dump resumes, dump cover letters without doing the work that would separate them from the rest. And that's a whole process to help people position themselves uniquely, utilizing their actual strengths and skills and things that we normally don't stop and look back and go, hey, this is how I'm unique to everyone else who might be applying for this role. And doing the work in terms of researching the business that they're applying for and actually positioning yourself for that role, saying, hey, I understand these are the things that are going on in your business. This is where you look like you're going. And these are the things that are in the requirements for the role. And I've got all this experience, or I've got all this ability, skill that I'm bringing forward that will help with that next stage in your growth of the business. And for many people who are in engineering and IT roles, if you've been there for a few years, there are opportunities where AI can't take away the strategic thinking that you've built, the ability to think through problems and come up with solutions that AI can't do, at least yet, which means it puts you one step out of that firing line, helps you get longevity in your career, and while there, build for the next stage, whatever that looks like for you. I understand that not everyone wants to go into business for themselves. I completely get that. At the same time, maybe there are going to be opportunities for most of us to find ways to build something. And that's again, at least if it gives you runway, if it gives you the opportunity to consider what comes next and gives you the buffer to make those choices and decisions from a place of abundance where everything is taken care of, like your normal requirements, like pay the mortgage, pay the car loan, whatever, feed the family, all these things that are burdens that we have in modern life. are taken care of, then you can look at things and logically think through things to create the next step that will help you and be aligned with you. So that's basically this is the mission, the vision, and the desire that I have overall. And ultimately, that means that people, when they are self-sufficient in that sort of sense and work from their strengths, whether they are working in a corporation in a leadership role or go out for themselves and build something, it means we can create a world where everyone is more self-sufficient in that sense, has more autonomy, has the means to create space for themselves and provide for their families and live a better life than the doomsday scenario where everyone's, in a position where we are dependent on some sort of government or whatever to, feed us in a sense. I see both sides of things. I spend a lot of time researching, learning, trying to see where it's all going to go. And yes, I'm not denying that there is a potential for things to go down the negative path, but I also see that we have the opportunity to take control and create a positive future for ourselves and future. That's the update for this week, and I will talk to you next week. Have a great one.
Thanks for listening to this episode of The Ben Solomon Show. If you like this episode, please hit the like button and subscribe on your favorite platform. And share the episode with anyone who you think might benefit from this episode. If you have any questions or feedback, please let me know in the comment section or at my website, www.bensolomon.co. That is www.bensolomon.co. Thank you and have a fantastic day.